up our food 5 days a week. And when we started, we were a food bank. And then I believe it's because of our faithfulness in the community, they blessed us to be now a food distribution center. And what that really means is that we can go to all the grocery stores in Jacksonville and actually pick up our own groceries. And don't pay a penny for it. You know, so I go to Walmart and Winn-Dixie and Fresh Market and a lot of different stores in Jacksonville. And I pick up 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. And then most of those pickups are like 3 or 4 stores per pickup. So that lets you know that I constantly got food in here. And I just, when we are faithful with things over God, I think believe that He'll bless us like that.
Amen.
You know, and then we have like trucks that come all the way across the country, and they will call me and say, "Hey, we got 2 pallets of meat, or we got 2 pallets of vegetables, or we got," and they would actually stop into up and back up. And again, all I do is sign something saying that they gave it to us, and they go about their business.
Wow.
You know, so I believe this place is constantly being blessed. And I tell a lot of pastors that because a lot of times we get things and we use it for the wrong reason. You know, and I don't think that was God's desire. You know, so I think if God bless you with something, you have to make sure we're doing the right thing with it.
Amen.
You know.
Amen.
But you see, we can look around and all these boxes are filled with pastries and bread and so forth, right? So we can, if we walk over this first. Now, a lot of these freezers, I put in grants and got them. And there's some of them the products I bought for ourselves. When I first got the grant, and I got about 2 freezers, and then eventually we were feeding so many people that basically we had to buy more. And as you look around, you can see the commercial freezers. And this is our walk-in where we store our fruits and vegetables. And when we start, this thing's filled up. You know. So I believe God is really doing the work back here. And I want to introduce Yes, sir. Dwayne, y'all heard me talk about him earlier. You know, and then Dwayne gives leadership on a big part of the food pantry. And then he's going to show you actually what we do with these boxes.
Okay.
All right.
By the way, Dwayne can pray.
Yeah.
That boy can pray. That boy was. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is like our, we have our produce, we have our fruits, we have our vegetables. So what we usually try to do, we try to make sure and all that in our giving that it's a well-balanced diet, because we not only want to like feed them, but we want to do our best to feed everyone the right way, the proper way, not just meat. So we have our fruit, our vegetables, and then over here we have our meat that's prepared right here. And then usually what we'll do from there, we'll sort through our meat. So we have the pork, the beef, we'll have chicken, we'll have breakfast, we'll have lunch. So that way, whenever we actually start putting it in the boxes, everything is assorted. So that way it's a little bit easier, and we also have efficiency when we're doing it. Gotcha. Okay, so we have our boxes here. So pretty much when you look through one box, you'll see, just like I said, we'll see the fruit, the vegetables, you'll see meat, and you see the chicken. So when we actually make sure we hook them up, it's like we're not just putting one thing in there and all, something that they can actually feel, something that's gonna stick to their stomachs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So right here, just like I said, we have the fruits, the vegetables, we have the meat, we have the breakfast, we have lunch, we have in between. And when it goes over here to our other area right here, but I'm gonna switch. Matter of fact, before we go over there, okay. So with this being a food pantry, we've been blessed and very fortunate to actually receive donations not only from our partners with Feeding East North Florida, but other people in the community. So you have you have snacks, you have bakery items, you have the flour, you have rice, you have canned goods. So that way we can also have non-perishable goods as well. So when we have transients and all that are homeless, we have something that to make sure we can get to them as well too.
Yeah.
This is a blessing.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure we're always able to do that first and foremost.
That's good.
If anything. So I want to make sure I ain't forget that, because that's very key too, right here. So it's like, all of our non-perishable goods, our baked goods. And over here is usually like where we actually pack them, so that way we can start shipping them out to our table out there that you actually saw there.
Right.
But I'm sorry, sir. Sorry. So right here, we just, we use these two items right here that we stack, and then from there you see the bread, and you also see sweets there too. So, everybody got a little sweet tooth. So, make sure you're feeling good and, watch out for the sweet tooth. We ain't trying to, I'm going to the dentist, but.
Yeah. You're not going to kill nobody, but you give them a little pleasure.
Exactly. So for the most part, that's how we have it set up. So I think Elder Harry talked about the freezers, where we all, we've been blessed and fortunate to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we have 7. Then we have a walk-in, and then we have a couple of deep freezers. So what we do, like throughout like the week on a weekly basis, close to 300-400 people a lot, and that's not include. That's not just the ones that actually come in on the Tuesdays and Thursdays. That's the one that's coming in between and being able to be a part of something that's so great to be Jesus' hands and feet. It's a blessing.
Amen.
So I don't take it for granted. I don't take it lightly, and just blessed to be a blessing to be a part of such a great work.
Right.
So when Bishop actually says that we make an impact in Jacksonville, we literally, because we have people that come from all sides of town. They'll come like, but we also tell them, say, look, it's natural food. We use the natural food to get you so we can give you the spiritual food.
There you go. Absolutely. I saw that.
So it's all bait. It's all bait. It's all bait. But good bait.
It's good bait. Yeah. It's something they can work with.
Okay.
And the second part, this is my wife, Donna. She's going to tell you a little bit about the other part, right?
Okay.
Donna.
Reporting. Because of our partnership with Feeding Northeast Florida, we get to pick up from the grocery stores versus them having to do it. So as a result, we have to report to them what we receive. So every day when they pick up, because we pick up Monday through Fridays, we pick up from about 8 stores in the area. 8 stores, and so every month, every week I have to do a report in their system as to what we receive. Every month I have to do like another report. Every month I have to also report to them, based on their litany of questions that we have. Our relationship with them, we pick up from Publix is really our largest donor. You're talking about good fresh meat, quality stuff, Publix. We have Walmart, Winn-Dixie, Fresh Market. That's about, So we pick up from 2 Publix, about 4 Walmarts, 2 Winn-Dixies, and it's been a very good partnership. We also have to keep a temperature log because we have to report to them that the temperature is kept at a certain amount, and we also have to keep a pest report. And the church orders that every month, so when they come and visit, we have to show that we have monthly pest report, daily temperature logs that are kept up.
Very good.
And that temperature, according to the state of Florida, it has to be 0 and below.
Right.
For the freezing.
I know freezing is 32, but when you're dealing with the public and everything else, you have to be 0 and below.
Wow. Okay.
That's why we keep that temperature log to show that our freezers are working like that.
Not only the freezers, even
The air conditioner.
And I know you guys notice that it's a little bit chilly in here.
Yes.
We have to keep it somewhere between 65 because these freezers put so much heat out. And we don't want them to burn out, so we keep the temperature at a certain level. And like all places, we have to keep the first aid kits, we have to keep the fire extinguisher. All those things have to be in the building.
So let me ask you a question though, because I asked you the thing about earlier about going to those Publix and stuff like that. I told you how to use it. Will that be like a requirement for a smaller scale, like all the temperature logs and stuff like that too? Because right now I will have a place for this. This will just be like on a smaller scale.
And I was going to talk to you guys about basically when you start. When you start, the first requirement is like you have to have a place that is basically clean, right? And it has to be at least 12 by 12. So they're gonna ask you that first, and then they're gonna say something like, "Do you have a pest control that comes?" Because every month a pest control have to come in the area and do what they gotta do, right? And then once you get in the place, they're gonna say, "Okay, are you a nonprofit?" So you have to have your 503 in place and all those things have to be in place. And then once you got those things in place, now they're considering looking at you. All right. And then when you asked me the question about picking up food.
Yes, sir.
Now when I pick up food, we started as a food bank. And a food bank, you only deal with feeding Northeast Florida. Feeding Northeast Florida, when they start, they'll give you like 2 days. They say something like, you can pick up on Monday and Wednesday, or you can pick up on Thursday or Friday, but they will only give you 2 days. We showed ourselves faithful in the community, so now they said, okay, we'll allow you to go in the stores yourself and do your own pickup. So that's why we got all these stores that we pick up from. But everybody has to start slow, just like we did. You know, we started from the beginning, and then eventually we proved ourselves that we were faithful, and then we got that promotion sort of.
That's why I asked you that question earlier, like to know like what would be the best way, you know, instead of just going into it. Because I had somebody who got me set up like that. I told you I had a meeting for next week. Like somebody pulled a string. But I just didn't know if that was the best way to go about it.
Some churches, what they do, they go straight to the manager of that store and say, "Do you guys have anything that we can pick up on?" And
That's what somebody did.
And they go and do it. But that's just like a one-time thing, you know. That ain't continuous like we do.
Okay, y'all start.
They'll try to help churches, you know, because once this food past the expiration date, they can't sell it. So now they have to give it away or throw it away. So that's why they kind of do that. Any other questions?
How about the grant?
Yeah, we kind of went to that. When we first started, I put in for a grant when we first started, and because we didn't have a truck, and I put in a grant. And the first grant we ever put in was for our $17,000. And we got that and bought a truck. About 2 of these freezers here, I put in the grant, and we got those also. So you have to record everything you do, right? Like take pictures, show videos. So every month or every quarter, I go in the sanctuary and I record everything. And I get testimonies from the people that actually come in, saying that basically how a blessing this food has been and so forth and so on. And it'll put you ahead of the line when you do that when you're applying for grants. So document everything you do, right? Record everything.
Would it be possible for you to provide to us like a copy of your submission, your grant submissions to anything that you've done,
And I can
that
do
we
that.
might have an example?
I can do. I used to do that myself, but now the church has kind of grown. Now we have grant
writers.
You know, we got people here that all they do is write grants.
Wow. Okay.
And I can get you hooked up with that also.
That would be great. Yeah. Because we recently got a grant too from the American Red Cross, and so they're giving us a freezer and a refrigerator,
Yeah.
and that's for
Have
that
they done it
purpose.
yet?
They haven't, but I got a text message from them today. They put the request in, so we got approved already.
Awesome. Because a lot of businesses say things like that, and then eventually they don't follow.
Yeah. No, these folks they've been very faithful. Matter of fact, they work with our food bank, our local food bank as well, and they've already got their freezers. They had to get some commercial walk-in freezers, and they were able to pull that together.
What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take you guys on.
Okay.
I'm gonna take you guys on the clothing side.
Okay.
Okay. Can we do food and clothing? Thank you, Dwayne.
Hey, Elder,
Yeah, I
got
got
it
it.
right. Okay.